I want to get into the topic of instinct. Again, I talked about this before. Instinct and intuition and emotions and feelings. Because I think I'm a person who operates mostly on instinct, emotions, and intuition. More than I do on intellect. Now, I'm not saying, and I'm really not, and I want to stress this important, I'm not saying people should do what I'm doing. They shouldn't live. I'm not claiming you shouldn't, but I'm not saying that you should either. But I am a person who operates more on instinct, emotions, intuition, hunches, on my gut feeling and everything else. Maybe that's the worst way to live. And maybe I'm paying dearly for it, because I have a lot of problems in life. Maybe I'm paying dearly for it. But that's just the way I am. That's the way I am. And I would imagine anybody who wants to be my friend just has to accept me for that. So when I talk about things, I talk about instincts, I just do that. I trust feelings and everything else. Because sometimes I'll do things that don't seem to make a lot of sense to other people. It makes perfect sense to me because I feel like it's the right thing to do. I just feel like it's the right thing to do, and so I'll just do it. All the times I've traveled places and when I learned languages and stuff, I just did things contrary to what everybody criticized, and I got a lot of criticism for things I did. And I still get it even now. I actually get some degree of criticism for making these videos. Not even just purely from people who come by and say negative things, like that one crazy guy who wasn't, we won't even go into him. Anyway, the thing is that, but I get criticism for what I do. But that's okay, because I just follow what I feel. And I'm labeled as being irresponsible and kind of slightly nuts and crazy and everything else. But when things work, because of my craziness, I wind up doing something that's wound up being spectacular, and it does happen. Everybody suddenly thinks I'm a genius, Philip's a genius. Wow, he came up with something. And I'm not. I'm just somebody who follows my feelings. Now, I'm not suggesting that anybody else should do it. I'm not setting myself up as a standard. This is not science. This is just me speaking. I think about things. I was thinking about something the other day. Well, actually for some time, it was just an example of something. It's something I remember reading what Maslow was saying about, and I'm talking about Abraham Maslow. And a quote that he said, because I was looking on the internet, it was something he had said about, he said, if I were dropped in the middle of the ocean, and I was told that the nearest land was 1,000 miles away, I would swim anyway, despite although I'm sort of elaborating a little bit more on the way he said it, because he just said that, and that was the end of it. He said, I'd swim anyway, and I would despise the person who would quit. And I understood what he meant by that. Because sometimes you do things, even if it isn't rational. You do it because it's a matter of instinct. Your instinct for survival. You swim. You keep swimming and swimming and swimming until you just can't anymore. And then you eventually drown. You're going to die anyway, but you don't even focus on losing. You don't focus on not making it. Every moment that you're swimming, you're thinking, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Somehow you believe the unbelievable. You believe the impossible. And I get to thinking that so many times when I didn't have nothing, and believe me, I'm not a rich person, nor have I ever been. But I've done a lot of things that I just kept believing stuff. And just didn't quit. And it has been very fruitful to me to believe things. To just go ahead and keep believing something, even if it didn't work. Now, this has nothing to do with some religious argument. This is not a religious thing. And I'm not even, that's why I've said that so many times, I'm even tired of saying it, that I'm not involved in that debate, the big war of debate or whatever. So this is not a, some type of promotional issue for religion. It's just that sometimes I do things because it's just my instinct to do it. And I trust my instincts more than I do my intellect. And other people have a different perspective. They think that you should trust your intellect more than you do your instincts. And these are just different perspectives. That's all. I'm not claiming that my way is right. It may be wrong. It might be as wrong as two left shoes on a one-legged man with a right foot. I say that, and I know all the people who got one leg might say, don't say that. No, but it's just this. I think about, I had an uncle who had one leg, and I always remember, I used to think about this, because he never liked to wear the prosthetic leg. So he'd always have like this one shoe. I don't even remember which leg it was that was amputated, whether it was the right or left. I can't, because it was so many years since he died, about 30 years ago. But I'm just thinking, he used to always say, I wish I could find somebody else who had the same size shoe who had the other leg amputated so I can give him that shoe. Because when you buy shoes, you have to buy both. But anyway, so I just think about, people say you be as wrong as two left shoes. Well, I just think about even more wrong, being as wrong as two left shoes on a one-legged man with a right foot. But anyway, I don't know why I just came up with that example. But I could be wrong about everything, so I'm not claiming being right. I'm just doing what I feel like doing, and I feel good doing it. I just feel good being me, doing things my own way. And I think I would have it no other way. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I like Emerson so much. Ralph Waldo Emerson. His thing about self-reliance and, just basically the whole philosophy of just being your own person. To me, it just feels good to be you, to be yourself. And that's my only message, really. That's all I have to say.